Welcome, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today for this explainer. If you've ever wished you had a real-life medical superpower, specifically the ability to see right inside the human body, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're diving into a fascinating intersection of physics, engineering, and medicine. We're talking all about electromagnetic waves and how they literally illuminate the body, allowing doctors to look right beneath our skin without ever making a single cut. It's a total game changer.
To kind of anchor our lesson today, I want to start with a really beautiful, relevant piece of scripture. Matthew 6:22 says, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light." This is just such a powerful metaphor for what we're about to explore. Because just as physical light helps us navigate the world around us, doctors and scientists use invisible light, these electromagnetic waves, to reveal our internal health. They basically flood the hidden areas of our bodies with this invisible light to expose exactly what needs healing.
All right, so here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. Seeing inside the body, 2. What EM waves are, 3. How X-rays and MRIs work, 4. Fighting cancer with gamma rays, 5. Staying safe, and finally, 6. Smart minds and wise choices. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Seeing inside the body.
So imagine having literal X-ray vision. Pretty cool, right? But the thing is, it's not just some comic book concept anymore. It's a daily reality in hospitals all over the globe. And the sheer impact this technology has on human life is, well, it's staggering. Why does medical imaging matter so much? Because it saves lives. It helps doctors instantly detect broken bones after a bad fall on the playground, diagnose really complex hidden diseases, and expertly plan out intricate surgeries. And the absolute best part, they can figure all of this out usually without needing to cut the body open at all. These technologies have entirely revolutionized healthcare. And for those of you sitting there wondering about your own futures, understanding this just shows how science directly impacts human well-being. It opens up some incredible career doors in medicine, tech, and research.
Moving right along to Section 2. What are EM waves?
Okay, to really grasp these medical tools, we first need to understand the science powering them. EM stands for electromagnetic, and electromagnetic waves are, simply put, waves of energy. But the ones doctors use are specifically high-frequency energy waves. This means the waves cycle incredibly fast, so they pack a ton of energy. And because they have so much energy, they don't just stop when they hit a solid object, like your skin or your clothes. Think of it kind of like Wi-Fi signals traveling invisibly through the walls of your house. These high-frequency waves travel right through space and straight through objects, including us. That is the secret sauce that makes this entire medical superpower possible.
Let's look at the specifics in Section 3, how X-rays and MRIs work.
Now, you've probably heard these terms before. Maybe you've even had an X-ray at the dentist yourself. But let's look at the how and the why behind them. I want you to think about this question almost like a fun homework assignment. Why, out of all the different types of waves out there, are X-rays specifically chosen to look at our bones? Why wouldn't we use them to look at, say, our heart or our lungs?
Well, the absolutely crucial point here is how X-rays interact with different materials. X-rays are perfectly tuned to pass right through the soft tissues of your body. Stuff like your skin, your fat, your muscles. But your bones are really dense. So when those X-rays hit your dense bones, they can't pass through. Instead, they reflect off them or get absorbed. So picture this. You fall off your bike, your arm hurts, you go to the hospital, the X-ray machine shoots these waves through your arm, the waves zoom right through the muscle, but the bone actually blocks them, casting a literal shadow onto a special detector. And boom, that shadow is the image of your skeleton, showing the doctor exactly where the break is.
But what if you don't want to look at a bone? What if you injured a muscle, or a doctor needs to look at your brain? That brings us to our next big question. How is an MRI different from an X-ray?
Okay, so an X-ray uses ionizing radiation, those high-energy waves we just talked about, and it is hands down the best tool for looking at hard, dense things like bones. But an MRI, which, by the way, stands for magnetic resonance imaging, an MRI doesn't use ionizing radiation at all. Instead, it uses a combination of radio waves and incredibly strong magnets. And I mean magnets that are thousands of times stronger than the ones holding up artwork on your refrigerator. Because of how magnets and radio waves interact with the water inside your body, an MRI is perfectly designed for looking at detailed soft tissue. So basically, an X-ray gives us the skeleton, but the MRI gives us this safe, incredibly detailed picture of the brain, the muscles, and the internal organs.
Let's step it up a notch with Section 4, gamma rays, fighting cancer.
we are moving right into one of the most awe-inspiring applications of physics in modern medicine. If I were to ask you on a pop quiz tomorrow, what EM wave is used to treat cancer, I want you to immediately think of the absolute most powerful wave on the entire spectrum. The answer? Gamma rays. Now, in comic books, gamma rays might turn you into a giant green rage monster, but in the real world, they are the absolute strongest, highest frequency EM waves in existence. They carry an immense amount of energy. I mean, if X-rays have a lot of energy, gamma rays are completely off the charts. They pack a serious punch, and it is exactly that massive energy that makes them the perfect weapon against dangerous diseases.
Because they have so much energy, gamma rays can penetrate deeper than almost anything else. That makes them incredibly useful for performing really deep body scans. But their primary medical use, it's as a weapon for healing. Doctors can take this powerful EM energy and focus it directly, with pinpoint accuracy, onto a tumor. The immense energy of the gamma ray literally destroys the bad cells. It kills cancer cells effectively without the need to perform invasive, dangerous surgery. It's literally a targeted strike using invisible light to save a human life. How amazing is that?
Which brings us to Section 5, Staying Safe with Radiation. Now, as we all know, with great power comes great responsibility. We just learned that these waves can blast right through our bodies and even destroy cells. So it's absolutely vital to ask, what precautions do doctors take when using these waves? How do we get all the amazing benefits of medical imaging without causing harm?
The reality is that high-frequency waves, specifically ionizing radiation like X-rays and gamma rays, carry massive energy. If we're exposed to too much of it, it can actually damage our healthy cells. Because of that, it absolutely must be handled with extreme care by highly trained professionals.
Hospitals have incredibly strict protocols to keep everyone safe. Step 1 is shielding. If you've ever had an X-ray, you probably remember the technician putting a heavy lead apron over you, right? Well, that lead shield actively blocks stray radiation from entering healthy areas of your body. Plus, the technician usually steps behind a special shielded wall to protect themselves. Step 2 is time-limited exposure. These machines are precisely calibrated to release these high-frequency waves for only a tiny, tiny fraction of a second. By strictly limiting the time of exposure, doctors make absolutely sure you get the lowest possible dose of radiation necessary to get a clear image. It's all about carefully balancing the immense benefits with highly controlled risks.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, Smart Minds, Wise Choices.
We've spent this explainer diving into some really incredible science. But, science alone isn't the whole picture. Here at Heroes Smart Academy, our Godly Learners series intertwines biblical morality directly with education for one very simple, undeniable reason. Education without morality will hurt. Seriously, think about it. What is the point of being incredibly smart, of knowing all the complex physics of electromagnetic waves, if you continue to make bad choices that hurt yourself or others? We just learned that gamma rays have enough energy to kill cells. A smart person knows how to generate a gamma ray, but a wise, moral person, they ensure it is only ever used to heal a tumor and never, ever used to cause harm.
This is what we call the Godly Learner's Path. Science is a beautiful gift. It provides us with incredibly powerful tools, like the medical imaging that saves millions of lives every year. But it is morality, our grounded, biblical wisdom, that provides the framework to use those tools safely and righteously. True education absolutely requires both. You need the smart mind to understand the world, and the wise heart to navigate it. That's how we ensure our advancements build society up rather than tearing it down.
And there's a really beautiful promise tied to this approach to learning. Romans 8:6-7 says, "The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace." When we keep our minds spiritual, when we approach subjects like physics and medicine with a sense of awe for creation and a really deep-seated moral compass, the result is peace of mind. This is our experience, and it's the experience of everyone who genuinely engages with learning in this holistic way. You aren't just memorizing facts. You are learning how to be a real force for good.
So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. We started by talking about how electromagnetic waves literally bring light to the hidden parts of the human body. My question to you is, how will you use your education, your smart mind, and your moral wisdom to bring light to the world around you? Keep learning, keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.